So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all on this podcast. Today, we have a very special guest with us. His name is Jitendra Bhargav. And I think before I start this podcast, it's my responsibility to tell. So, basically, he has 16 years of experience in sales and marketing. And also, he is a member of different NGOs in our MP. And he teaches a free education on the operations of ventilator and BiPAP machines, and also he's a fond of writing too. I think it's a kind of a good introduction uh, for this podcast.
Hello, hi Sayog.
Hi Jitendra bhaiya, how are you?
I'm very much fine,
Okay.
and you are being very much modest of giving me
No,
such a
no,
nice
it's real
introduction.
truth. It's real truth, nothing sugar coated. It's honest truth. And personally, thank you so much for giving me your time. You are such a busy guy. I know for a fact that you have lot of work. Thank you so much for coming on this
Yeah,
podcast.
no worry, no worry. Yeah,
So I think this podcast is going to be very short and simple. We will wrap up this podcast in few minutes. So without wasting any time, we should directly jump on our questions, right? So can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you very
Okay.
well.
So my first question to you is that what are the top three things that corporate world has taught you?
See, it's a long journey. I mean, I have completed around the 16 years in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Started with my first job in Nagpur.
Okay.
But if you ask me to be very precise about my learnings in the corporate world,
Mm-hmm.
or I can say which are the growth levers in the corporate world, I would say one is being disciplined.
Discipline.
You cannot achieve anything without being disciplined. I
Right.
have seen like any plan which is made is a piece of paper. If it is not followed with the discipline,
Right.
so that is one thing I
Sure.
will say, and I will give this message to youngsters to be disciplined.
Right.
Dusra, if you ask me, second thing is that which I am seeing that it is being very much lacking to in the youngster, that being patience. You should be patient about your results. It
Right.
See, Rome was not built up in a day. It
Right.
takes hell lot of time, effort to get it done. So
Right.
today, like I am running my 41st birthday. I
Okay.
would say now this is the time where I can at least say to the youngster that it is
Hmm.
very much needed to be patient.
Right.
Have patience, and your results will start reflecting further.
Yeah. So discipline and patience are I will totally agree upon that, because like people who are on my age, they are lacking majorly these two things, and that's why they are ruining their career. That's the number one hurdle they are facing right now, I think. And
Very true. Very true.
last thing, what it would be?
See, last thing which I could have said first, but to make the right message, I kept it last. That you should always be highly ambitious.
Yes. In every field, right? It's not always about corporate, but in every field, right?
Right, Sayog. I mean, if you are not ambitious, then half the battle is already lost.
Correct, correct.
So being ambitious is very much important, be it
True.
in any field.
Right.
Like, I mean, this is your I would say this is the first podcast
Podcast.
of year,
Right.
and I know that you are very much ambitious that you would be completing 100 of the episodes within
Touch wood.
uh, s- yeah, within 6 months of the period.
Sure. So I
Right.
think you have wonderfully answered my question. And while you are answering all these questions, my first question that come to my mind is that key, is there any mandatory kind of thing that people in my age really need 2 3 years of professional like corporate world experience, or they can just directly jump on something business and startups?
No, I think this is the message to all the youth that you should start working. You should start with see, any job is not big or small. You should
Yeah.
start working in any good organization, and after having a good 2 3 years of experience into the corporate world, then you can move to business and other things.
Okay. So in conclusion, at least you should have 2 3 years of experience, right?
Right, right.
Okay. So I think like I have graduated in this year, and the number one challenge that I'm facing right now is that due to this COVID, I became so much antisocial. I am not able to speak properly when I meet people because of we have spent our whole year inside the house, and we became ultimately, the antisocial kind of person, creature, I would say. So how to overcome that? I mean, like, how to be
I
social
think
again?
very rightly said by you. This is these 2 years were really cumbersome for anybody. I mean, these years are very cumbersome for our social activities. But as rightly we are human are the fellows who discover the things out of the out of the scarcities. So that's
Right,
what is being here. There are the platforms like Zoom, which you started, which we are using right now. There are
right.
these kind of platforms like Zoom. There are LinkedIn. There are some Facebook, Instagram, and
Sure.
other online platforms. We should, and every youth should be using that, and being at least connected to the people.
Okay.
And this is
So,
the future. This is going to be the future.
correct, correct. So, your message, like, listen, audience, direct message from Jitendra Bhargav is short and simple. अगर कोविड हो गया तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप काम करना छोड़ दोगे. There are several platforms where you can develop your community and you can start talking to like any people. This is the advantage of being in a
True, true.
2021 is such a blessing. Also, it is a curse because of COVID simultaneously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
So how we are.
and my third question to you, Jitendra ji, is that where do you see like these pharmaceutical companies are heading towards?
See, Sayog, I mean, this is the right question at the right time, I would say. See, we are very far behind in terms of health infrastructure.
Right,
If I would not show you the big picture, but if you ask me the picture of the Bhopal city, there are like, if there is one doctor, there are around 100 patients or per day for which are who are waiting to meet to that doctor.
right,
So we are far behind. Our government infrastructure is far behind. So when there are there is a strong need of development of this healthcare infrastructure, and I would recommend and I would suggest youth like you should come up to develop this healthcare infrastructure.
right,
The industrialists like Tata's, Ambani's should come into this field and should actually try to make it more strong infrastructure, so that we can have at least a great health of the humanity in India. So
right.
there is a hell lot of scope, and when there is a scope, of course there are more opportunities are there.
Yeah,
So this
right.
industry is going to be another big bang industry. Say I
Okay.
would say
In near future.
surely
Oh.
many innovations are coming, and
Hmm.
the outside world, the developed countries are seeing India as not as not as the developing country, but
Hmm.
they are seeing India as one of the researching hub, because there are
Hmm.
150 crore people,
Right.
so they are aiming for it.
So I think to add two more points to your answer is that on Instagram, its name is WhatsApp Bhopal. So they have a huge fan following on that page. So what they did, they during that pandemic, they came forward. They took that one step and shared informations regarding the COVID, like the injections. There was a huge shortage of injections and medicines. They came forward and they shared very relatable and important informations to the people through their social media platform. So you have said correctly, ki it's time we have to come up together to solve, to to fight with this pandemic.
Right, rightly said, Sayog.
Okay, so I think we have already talked a few things about corporate world, and I think we have talked enough about corporate world. It's time to talk about the future aspects of youngsters like me, and I feel you're worthy enough to ask all of these questions because you have achieved so much in your life. So my first question to you, Jitendra ji, is ki people in my age are really confused between 10 things. So how to be more specific and specialized in one thing when there are numerous of options? When we are confused, what should we do right now?
Uh, Very valid question. I would say this is not coming from only from your mind. This is the voice of the youth.
Yes.
Everybody wants to know the answer of this question. I would say
Right.
what my personal experience is that you should you should you should first of all you should make a vision, a vague vision,
Hmm.
that what you are gonna be after 10 years down the line.
Right.
See, after making that vision, try to jot down it in your paper, and then try to make it more precise,
Hmm.
more specific. Then you jot it down and break down to each year, like 2021 what it would be, 2022 what it would be.
Right.
Once it is done, then uh, if then try to meet the nearest goal. Like, if you have said that in 2021 I would be uh, I would be having more than 1 million subscribers in the podcast, so that is your, like, your long term vision. And your short term vision, you plan it out, that I
Okay.
would like to be being subscribed by more than 5,000 people. So try to work on it.
Right.
You should be very specific in terms of understanding that how can you achieve it, what are the resources which are available, how can
Right.
I get those resources, how can I actually grab for those resources, and with these resources how can I achieve that. So
Okay.
it should be like every day when you're waking up in the morning, one thing should be stuck in your mind, that yes, I am one day closer to my vision.
Okay.
So
So
that is my personal opinion to the youth.
okay. So in conclusion, you're saying that have a vision, have a long vision, but chop it down in a piece of paper and complete it every day. Right.
Rightly taken by you. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's wonderful advice to all of us because this is the number one confusion that we are facing right now. We are so much confused about our careers. And I got my answer. I'll definitely work on your roadmap that you have given. हाँ
हो गया मेरे ख्याल से, we are now end of the session.
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल 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 ठीक है थैंक यू सो मच फॉर गिविंग योर टाइम
Yeah, it was really nice
ओके
discussion with you, Sayog, and I would congratulate you for your first podcast, and I will give my best compliment that it would be a successful one.
oh thank you so much that is